with Correcting Health, and today I want to discuss pH, the pH range, the acid on one side and the alkaline, the base on the other side. And the reason why I want to speak about this is because there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of diets, there's a lot of people saying, oh, being super alkaline is great, or being, a super acidic is even, not as bad as you think. But what I want to do here is, instead of siding with either or, I just want to give this nice neutral information so that you understand what's going on and what is within our bodies. As far as I know, me, I am a health enthusiast, and I love to listen to all sorts of people. I listen to medical doctors, I listen to holistic, functional medicine people, I listen to chiropractors, I listen to herbalists, I listen to everybody, whether certified or not. And then what I do is I align the information, and then I see what not just the consensus, because the consensus is one thing, but I see the scientific data that points. Some things are, see, within the scientific, especially with what I know from diets, is that there's biases, but I try to go through, sift through all that, and I try to find that true health information for you guys. And of course, I am not the here and all, the final say of it. I am just a health coach that has the heart of a doctor, the heart for health, because of my past experience too, which woke me up to this. But I am open to discuss, to talk about these things with others, collaborate. So please get at me if you want to, talk about things. If you guys want to say something, that could add to this video, go ahead and put it down below in the comments. And please do like, share, and subscribe. Put that, ring that notification bell too, so that when I post new videos, you guys are informed. Because here at Correcting Health, that's exactly what we want. We want you to achieve optimal health. So let's go back to this topic here, pH range. Now we know acid is on one side of the spectrum, 1, and we have alkaline on the other, which goes up to 14. And on that range, there are certain things that I'll put a picture here so you guys can see. You'll see certain things that show you what is more acidic and what is more alkaline. There's foods too that tend to, that have to be more acidic, like eggs, meat, dairy, dried fruits. And then the more alkaline are more like, besides alkaline water, you have like some fruits, vegetables like bananas, uh, pears, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, and then it goes more to baking soda, and then, yeah, and so forth. So I'll show you that and you'll see that. But what I want to talk about again, what I want to stress, is having homeostasis, having that balance within the body, because homeostasis is what health is. When you have too much of a certain thing within the body and it overrides, your body is in this, it has to balance out still. You got to get alkalized, or you have to, this has to be alkaline and whatnot. You have to ask them, be specific, like, what do you mean? Well, alkaline and what? And the reason why is because each organ has different pHs. So it's not like we're all going to be 12 pH or 10 or 7 or whatever people say the number is to be. But each organ has a different pH. Now remember, 7 to 8 pH, people might be like, oh, that's not too big of a difference, but it is, because each increment is magnifying to that throughout the body, or in that specific place in that body, that organ. So it has a very, very profound effect. So don't just, do this thing and say, oh, this is all good and this and that, and then you start There is symptoms to either being too acid and too alkaline, and that's what I'm going to get to. Before that, let's go ahead and go through some parts and through some things within our body. So we have saliva. Saliva's pH is the ideal range is 6.5, which is acidic, to 7.5, which is just above the neutral area. We have spring water, which is neutral, 7. Then we have the small intestines, 7 to 8.5 pH. Now that's more alkaline. It's getting more to the alkaline thing. And that's good, because it helps against bacteria in some space, in that area, in that aspect. Blood, 7.35 to 7.45. That's just a little bit of slightly above neutral, a little bit a little on the alkaline side, but not like crazy alkaline. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because if the blood is too alkaline, which is not just by eating foods. If you do for instance, the Wim Hof method, where you're doing that breathing that's very and then you have that pause, and then you take that breath in. If your blood gets too alkaline, it gives you this state of alkalosis, which pretty much throws off that balance of oxygen and CO2, and you're getting rid of too much CO2 when you're doing that. So there's more oxygen right within there, but that's not necessarily a good thing, because even people with asthma, the problem with people with asthma is they breathe too much or breathe too fast. I know that sounds weird, but there are people, other YouTubers that explain this very well, like Dr. Berg, for instance. Pretty much you breathing too fast, or you trying to get alkaline, or you doing the Wim Hof method, it has its uses depending on what your body's going through and what like if you're in extreme cold or if you're fighting infection, it can help with that. But to be honest with you, it's not homeostasis. So you have to, when it comes to the blood, you have to be careful with that. The skin is very acidic. And this is a cool thing about it too, because this is our first line of defense. Why would it be acidic? To kill off bacteria, to kill off fungi, to kill off anything that's trying to come into our bodies. It's our defense against bacteria, against foreign invaders, so to speak. Skin is 4 to 4.9 pH. Large intestine, 4 to 6. Large intestine, this is where water is absorbed. This is where fiber, whether insoluble or soluble, this is where it passes through. Well, insoluble fiber goes through because it can't be digested, and it helps to clean out and scrub, to brush out the debris within there. That's why fiber, people normally recommend like 35 grams or more of fiber to have that area be healthy, and have your motility. Especially it's good for taking out toxins without the body. Now the stomach, this is going to be really awesome. Because a lot of people, they like to, alkaline diet, got to do this, but the problem is that when you're backed up from like constipation and whatnot, this affects the whole upstream. So think of like this area being like the top part of the mountain, and there's spring water going downstream. Now, if you go the opposite way, which is going upstream, if your colon, if your large intestine is backed up, or it's not moving, having a nice, motility movement in there, this backs you up, and then this lack of motility affects your stomach pH, which then, if your pH is not within this range, which guess what? The stomach pH is 1 to 3. That is very acidic. That is scary acidic. That's how very acidic that is. 1 to 3 pH. And why is it so acidic? Because again, people, the stomach is not just for ingesting food, but it's part of your immune system, just as your skin is, just as your tonsils are. People get these things removed, they're removing parts of their immune system. The thymus, the bone marrow, the whole body, it's like, it's almost, if you think about it, the spleen, it's like the whole body is, it works together. It's a holistic Swiss watch, you know. So in saying this, if your pH is too, if it's not within that 1 to 3 and it's more alkaline, you can't break down proteins, you can't break down minerals, which then affect the ability for you to absorb vitamins. See, this is very, very essential. A lot of people, they take Prisolac, omeprazole, over-counter Tums. They take these things because the doctor tells them, hey, this is an over acid problem, when in fact it's because their stomach is alkaline. And how does this happen? Sometimes there's a bug like H pylori, I know about that. There's you know like ulcers. There's a reason why the doctors would put these drugs and push these drugs, so then they can, they'll do an omeprazole with a antibiotic mixture to attack this bug. But there are natural ways of doing this without those effects, because these antibiotics, especially some of them, are very powerful. They have this little black box warning, and these black box warnings, like, before I took mine, I read it. It said, hey, this thing can cause cancer. And this is what I'm saying. I'm trying to help people to achieve that optimal health. But instead of like just giving them that basic information or those protocols, I want them to have complete information, well-rounded, and not just centered based off of one medical paradigm, which they now say it's medicine, but there was medicine before that, and hey, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but anyways, you get what I'm saying. Like, when we treat the problems the right way, we get those results we want. So see, stomach pH is very, very important, because if we can't break down the things that we eat, if we can't kill off pathogens and bacteria that enter our body, what does that say for your overall health? Now let's jump onto urine. Urine is 4.5 to 6. And, this is more on the acidic side. And there's reasons for it. UTIs, kidney infections. We don't want that. We don't want that. And plus, what the body expels at that certain pH, there's a certain functions that the kidney has to do, because it's a filtering of our system. So, again, acid, the pH, the range, there are different pHs for different organs, systems, and locations within the body, and we have to have that homeostasis. Now let's go to the symptoms. So let's say, okay, I want to go on the alkaline, on the alkaline diet, right? And then you try to get so alkalinized and whatnot. This is what happens. These are the symptoms you experience. You experience muscle twitches, allergies, muscle spasms and cramps, muscle weakness, dehydration, muscle pain, and difficulty breathing. Now, to be fair, like I said, let's go ahead and let's check out the acid side. Acid, you have chest pain, palpitations, headaches, anxiety, muscle weakness also, bone pain, joint pain, and something called air hunger. And see, nobody wants these symptoms. Nobody wants that. People want homeostasis. They want to feel good. They want to feel like they can tackle the day. They have that energy to go out and just do what they dream to do. And this is why I made this video, because it is very, very important. We want to achieve that homeostasis. We don't want people, going to this extreme or to that extreme, saying, yes, this is the way, and then they find out, I'll tell you this, though, with the homeostasis message that I say here, if something works for you, remember, everybody is an individual, and every individual has their individual journey, and every individual journey has its individual problems. So we have to address what's going on within that body, within that person. And that's why testing and not guessing with these comprehensive labs and blood work to see where you're at, getting that snapshot of your immune system, of your your levels within your body, production, whatever it may be, serotonin, melatonin, uh, certain acids, organic acids in your body with urine and stool to see if there's any bacteria, infections, candida. It's just a whole bunch of stuff to see that helps us to determine the path we should go, so we have an educated, we have a mission, we have a goal. And this is what I tell people, there are labs that you don't even have to have a doctor for to get and to order. And all you have to do is you get them done. One company or one place called Access Labs. There's a whole bunch of others. Maybe I'll put some down in the comments if some people ask for other places. But I do know professionals that I can direct you to help you directly with that. And I myself, I'm trying to work into that or getting into that. But right now I'm doing, more of an educational stance here for health. Uh, but yes, this is very important so that we can achieve that health that we want. And it's very vital for us to understand, to have that knowledge and have that proper wisdom so that we can then tackle the problems, eliminate them, and enjoy life. Because this whole, cycle of like, it's crazy, like the amount of things that I've seen in such a short time. I'll give you an example here. And I know this is getting off topic, but this is some wonderful stuff. It's crazy when someone takes care of their health, when they start seeing health as wealth, because without health, riches and having this and that, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's the quality of life is just not there. So it's like it's so awesome to see. I've seen the things like 30-year-old people that come into corrective care practitioners places, and they feel like they're dying already, and they're only 30. I'm going to be turning 32 very soon, but like I felt that before. I'm like, man, why do I feel like trash? I feel like worse than, and I'm over there, I'm walking around the neighborhood and I see 60, 70-year-old people out there pumping it and they're working their bodies. And I'm like, man, what happened to me? You know, like this is the thing. We don't take care of our bodies. Like it doesn't matter. Like the age is just, that's one thing. That's why I don't like when people say, oh, well, I'm old. This is normal. It happens. Or my dad had this. My mom had that. It's normal. It's in our family. No, our genes can express depending on how we treat it, how we feed it, and our environment, the stressors in our lives. I'm telling you, our bodies, we were made to be here. We were made to live and to have that excellent life. Now, again, all the pollution, all the stressors in life, all that makes it harder on us and it takes away from us, but we can fight back and we can achieve that. I'm telling you, there's been labs that we've seen with some people, or that I've seen from other, corrective care people, where like 80-year-olds had better like colons, better like digestive system, better function, better overall health than 20, 30-year-olds. And that's saying a lot. That optimal health is within your grasp, but only if you seek it. Anyways, guys, I've talked too much, but this is Correcting Health here with Coach Hemi, and I will see you on the next video. God bless.